the power of focusing on yourself. In life, we often find ourselves seeking validation from others, whether it's through social media likes, approval from family, or praise from colleagues. Many of us are constantly looking outward for affirmation. But in Zen and Buddhism, there is a profound teaching that suggests we should shift our focus inward. The journey to happiness, peace, and wisdom lies not in seeking approval from others, but in understanding and embracing who we truly are. At the core of these teachings is the understanding that the world is far too preoccupied with its own concerns to watch and judge you as much as you think they do. The true path to peace is not about gaining the approval of others. It's about nurturing your own inner world and trusting in your own strength. In this video, we'll explore the Zen and Buddhist perspective on focusing on yourself, using a story that illustrates the consequences of seeking validation from others. By the end, we'll also dive into practical insights on how to shift your energy from external validation to self-empowerment. The Journey of the Seeker, a story of self-discovery. Let's start with a story of a young seeker who lived his life constantly searching for validation from others. He would tailor his actions, words, and even thoughts to fit what he believed others expected of him. He thought that if he was admired and respected, he would finally find happiness and fulfillment. But no matter how hard he tried, he always felt empty and unseen. One day, he went to a wise monk, known for his profound insights, and confessed his inner turmoil. "Master, despite all my efforts, the world ignores me. Why does no one see me for who I am?" The monk, with great patience, decided to teach him a lesson. He took the seeker to the river and handed him a large clay pot. "Fill this pot with water and carry it to the top of the mountain," the monk instructed. The seeker, though puzzled, complied. As he made his way up the mountain, the weight of the pot increased, and water spilled with every step. By the time he reached the summit, the pot was nearly empty. Exhausted, he looked inside the pot and exclaimed, "Master, I have carried this pot carefully, but it is almost empty." The monk smiled and replied, "This pot represents your life. When you live for others' approval, no matter how carefully you walk, your energy spills away. By the time you reach your destination, you are empty, drained, and unfulfilled." The seeker was baffled. He asked, "What should I do?" Then, the monk simply said, "Climb the mountain again, but this time, carry nothing." The liberation of self-focus. When the seeker climbed the mountain the second time without the pot, he felt a profound difference. His steps were lighter, his breath steadier, and he reached the summit much faster. Not only that, but he felt energized and full of clarity. When he met the monk at the top, he asked, "What does this mean for my life?" The monk replied, "When you focus on yourself, your energy is preserved. You ascend life's challenges with clarity and purpose. This is not selfishness, but wisdom. The world is too busy with its own burdens to carry yours. Your happiness, your growth, and your peace are your responsibilities." At this point, the seeker began to understand the importance of focusing on his own journey. He realized that people are often too preoccupied with their own lives to worry about his. Even when they seem to care, it is through the lens of their own needs and desires. The monk continued, "People may walk alongside you, but they cannot walk for you. Focus on planting seeds of wisdom, peace, and joy in your own garden, and let it grow." The illusion of attention, why we need to focus on ourselves. The seeker began to reflect on how much time he had wasted worrying about others' opinions. He had been imprisoned by the fear of judgment, which had denied him the joy of living authentically. He realized that he had been so busy tending to the gardens of others that his own garden had been overrun with weeds. The monk asked him to meditate beside a lotus pond. As the seeker watched the lotus flowers bloom effortlessly, the monk said, The lotus does not bloom to impress the fish or the birds. It blooms because that is its nature. Be like the lotus, rooted in your essence, rising above the opinions of others. This teaching deeply resonated with the seeker. He began to understand that living authentically and focusing on one's own growth is not only the most fulfilling path, but it also inspires others. The lotus blooms naturally, not for admiration, but because that is its nature. When we live authentically, our beauty shines, and others will be drawn to it, though we do not seek their admiration. The power of detachment, letting go of the need for validation. Over time, the seeker learned the importance of detachment. He stopped seeking approval and began living in alignment with his values. In the beginning, this shift was difficult. He faced criticism, misunderstanding, and even rejection, but each day, he felt lighter, freer, and more content. The monk reminded him of an ancient teaching. A bird perched on a branch is not afraid of the branch breaking because its trust is not in the branch but in its wings. The seeker learned to place his trust in himself, not in the fragile opinions of others. The ripple effect of self-focus, how focusing on yourself benefits others. As the seeker became more self-assured, something unexpected began to happen. He noticed that by focusing on his own growth and peace, he became more present, compassionate, and grounded. This authenticity, rather than seeking attention or validation, drew others to him. The monk explained, "When you light your own lamp, it illuminates not only your path but also the paths of those nearby. But if you wait for others to light your lamp, you will remain in darkness." The seeker's transformation had a ripple effect. People were drawn to his inner peace, not because he sought their attention, but because his authenticity was magnetic. Practical insights for focusing on yourself. The monk taught the seeker 3 key elements to sustain this practice of self-focus: mindfulness, self-discipline, and compassion for oneself. 1. Mindfulness. The first step in focusing on yourself is becoming aware of where your energy flows. Many people scatter their energy in countless directions, worrying about things beyond their control or seeking approval from those who barely notice them. To cultivate mindfulness, the monk instructed his students to practice sitting quietly each morning, observing their breath and thoughts without judgment. This simple practice helps identify where you are wasting energy and helps you redirect it back to yourself. 2. Self-discipline. The monk also emphasized that focusing on yourself requires discipline. There will be moments when the voices of the world grow loud, tempting you to stray from your path. But you must have the strength to remain true to yourself. The bamboo does not bend because it fears the wind. It bends because it knows its strength lies in flexibility. The monk said. 3. Compassion for oneself. Finally, the monk emphasized compassion for oneself. Many people are kind to others but neglect to be kind to themselves. They carry guilt, regret, and feelings of unworthiness that weigh them down. The monk shared the story of a cracked clay pot that carried water every day. Your flaws are not a burden. They are part of your unique journey. Embrace them, and they will become your greatest strengths. Conclusion: living for yourself is not selfish. It's liberating. The seeker, now transformed into a master, taught others the lesson he had learned. Live as though nobody cares, because in truth, they don't. This realization is not depressing. It is liberating. When you stop seeking validation, you discover the immense strength within you. You become the author of your story, unshaken by the winds of external opinion. To focus on yourself is not to reject the world. It is to embrace your role within it. When you focus on your growth, peace, and joy, you naturally inspire others to do the same. The love, respect, and peace you seek externally can only be found within. Final meditation and takeaway: reflect on your deepest desires. Are they truly yours, or are they shaped by the expectations of others? Focus on actions that bring you inner peace, regardless of whether they attract praise or criticism. Your life is a precious journey, and you alone must walk its path. When you focus on yourself, you not only transform your own life, but also inspire others to find their own paths. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for notifications. Leave a comment below about your thoughts on focusing on yourself, and share your experiences with us.